So I got a mixture here, got a lot of different things to look at. Here is one thing that I want you guys to know relative to where you place guys in the empty formation. And this is just what I believe. Whatever you believe, you believe. I'm just telling you, I tell young coaches all the time, develop your beliefs in football. They don't have to be the same as my belief, but you've got to have a belief, because if you're wishy-washy, you got no chance. I come here to Alabama. I've been here for two months. Been here for 2 months. Coach Saban, number one thing I've learned from Coach Saban is he has strong beliefs in certain things. Discipline, taking care of the little things, speaking from the same voice, okay? Making sure that guys are working. We work. Players work, coaches work. So what is your belief? All right, so this is my belief in empty formations. Empty, again, like I said before, the ball's usually going to come out quick. So the number 2 weak player has to be a playmaker. He doesn't need to be real fast. I mean, he could be fast, but he better be quick. That's Welker. That could be a running back. That could be Edelman in Houston, okay? That was Arian Foster. That was, other guys that were quick guys, Kiki Kuti. That was some different guys, okay? The number 3 player, he's a guy that has quickness. He's a guy that doesn't have to be the fastest guy in the world, okay? That guy up top, number 2, is Edelman. This is Welker. Sometimes it's the tight end, all right? The number 2 spot, that guy's got to be a playmaker. So your 2 weak, your 3 strong, and your 2 strong are your playmakers, all right? Your guys that are like your tall, maybe your Randy Mosses, your DeAndre Hopkins, a lot of times it didn't mean that they were not in the game plan and empty. They were, but we usually placed them on the outside of the formation. This is Ocho Cinco. This is Deion Branch. These guys were great football players. Ocho's Hall of Famer, or will be a Hall of Famer. And this guy, Deion Branch, was one of the best route runners I've ever coached. So, but just understand where you putting your quick guys, where you putting your point guards, okay, where you putting your power forwards, where are you putting your 3 guards, you know what I mean? You got to think about it that way, all right? So this one was a favorite that we ran a lot, especially in New England, okay, relative to our routes in New England. Hold on, there you go. All right, so now basically what we call this route is HOS and whatever this position is here. Now, our empty formations were words. I'm not going to get into all those. You've got to decide how you're going to label your empty formations, okay? But ours, this empty formation right here was Tarzan right or Bonsai right. That told the Z that he was the number 3 receiver to the strength. So this is what we call HOS, Z Juke. So HOS is hitches on the outside that converted in New England and Houston to go routes versus press or versus cover 2. They were hitches that converted. That's staying on because this guy's off. They were seam routes on the inside. Again, this is NFL field dimensions. So the seams are key. Very, very key relative to how you're coaching the seam. All right, number 1 is on the seam. Do not line up in the seam, ever. And the seam to the field in the NFL is the top edge of the numbers. All right, in high school it'll be different. You got to figure out that. But they got to be able to work to the seam. Work to the seam. See that? They're working to the seam. They're not aligned in the seam. So we got seams. And those are seam reads. So as middle field open, both those guys would take the middle thin. They never run into each other. Don't ask me that question. I don't have one example of where any seams, when they were both on seam reads, ran into each other. All right. Number 3 is on the juke. So the juke, okay, is a return route. All right. Unless you're not matched, which he's matched right here. If you're not matched in zone coverage, you can sit 6 yards over that play side tackle. If the guy's playing you hard inside, you sell the under and stick your foot in the ground, your right foot, if you're lined up on the right, and return out. And if the guy overplays you for the return route, you run a juke. So you stick that foot in the ground, you fake like you're running a return, and then you come back on the juke. So that guy right there played hard inside. So Welker sticks his foot in the ground and comes back on the juke. The return. Right now, this looks like some type of buzz coverage. They're kind of buzzing. This guy's playing a deep buzz. This guy's not really getting back to the middle of the field. And Brady saw that, right? And Brady knew that the width that plus the conversion on the outside with Ocho, Brady knows I got a great matchup there with Gronkowski, which in high school, if you have a good tight end that can run a little bit and you get a little guy on him, it's just physics. Gronk is 6'7". This guy's probably 5'11", and Gronk's probably faster than this guy. So you might, I'm not saying you got Gronk. He's the best to ever do it. But those plays were great for us. All right, now let's go to the protection here. All right, so the protection is the strength of the formation is right. And Tom knows, okay, he knows that this player over here is not coming. All right, got the safety going back. He's not coming. So he turns this into, okay, he turns this into a Rambo call. So now it's a 4-man slide to the field, and they're picking up, okay, whatever 4 comes, and they only ended up bringing 3. Got to be good at passing off games because a lot of defensive coordinators will check to games and empty, twists up front. Go to the next one. You can talk about each play for an hour. All right, now, same formation, Buffalo, same game. They had trouble stopping it. One thing I'll say about that too is if somebody's having trouble stopping it, like keep running it. Make them stop it. Don't overthink it. Don't sit there and say, oh, shit, we better go to something new. They're going to eventually make them stop it. Make them stop it. Repeat calls, no problem. All right, so here's the same play with a different look. Same play with a different look. Now we got man-to-man. We got blitz man. We got blitz man. All right? So everybody's inside leveraged. We got inside leverage on the number 3 receiver. We got inside leverage on the number 2, which is Gronk. That's Welker. This is Edelman, inside leverage. This is Branch down here, inside leverage. Inside leverage. You've got to teach your quarterbacks the difference between cover 1 rat coverage. That's outside leverage with help in the middle. And the difference between that and blitz 1 coverage. If it's blitz, they're bringing 5. There's no help. There's no rat player. So everybody's got to make sure they're not, especially underneath. There's no help inside. Right? And then the post safety is reading the quarterback. So if you can move the quarterback and you got another matchup advantage, back shoulder. Okay. And again, this formation is right-handed. I never cared what hash it was on. That's pro football, though, where the hashes are a lot tighter. Here at Alabama, we do care about that, it's the right thing to do because in college, the hashes are a little bit wider. So we call FIB and things like that. But here, he just kept 50 as the mic, and he made a Rita call. All right, so 4 down Rita. Remember, 3 down Rita, sort. 4 down Rita. Now we're sliced, and now we're going right here with the center guard and tackle. If 50 jumped out and went and covered Welker, and this guy came, they would pick that up. That's part of the slice. Again, got to be aware of the games. Got to be aware of the games. Pretty good pickup. Not bad. The center got jacked a little bit on the pick stunt, which is hard. Back shoulders are hard. You got to work them a lot. All right, now I want to go down to this one because I want to show you these good ones. Right now,